Good morning, everybody. I want to welcome you to my Facebook Live, Creating Cards with Debbie. Let me bring my iPad up so I can watch the comments. Turn the sound down. Let me find me. Where am I? It says live. All right, there we are. Be sure you comment when you come on and say hello. All right, I think I got that up and running. Like I said, my name is Debbie Foster. I'm creating cards with Debbie, and I'm glad that you're able to join me today. The temperatures here in Arkansas are pretty hot this week. We're going to be in the hundreds, index of hundreds. So I'm going to try cooling us off with some Christmas cards. We're going to do Christmas in July. So come on board. Be sure you say hello. If you're not in Arkansas, be sure that you say where you're from so we can kind of see where everybody's coming in at. It'd be kind of fun to see the different states. Hi Sharon, glad you're on here. Glad you're able to join. Hope you can stay for the whole thing today. Let me go ahead and turn you down here and we'll go ahead and get started. I'm hoping we don't have any technical difficulties today. It'd be nice if we did one Facebook Live without anything going on. But I'm probably asking for a little bit too much there. Hope you don't get dizzy there. I keep getting a message on there saying I can't rotate my phone while it's live. I don't know why that's doing that. I've got a little bit of a delay here, so I'm trying to see what my screenshot looks like. I think we can maybe zoom it in just a little bit. Hope everybody's doing well today. I'm thinking that's kind of good. Trying to see which way I need to move to. No, that's going the wrong way. Thinking right there is good. I don't think I'll mess with it. I don't want to make it worse than it already is. Okay. So like I said, I'm creating cards with Debbie, and I'm located in Bismarck, Arkansas. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. And you can shop my store for any of the items that we're going to show today. It's www.debbiefoster.stampinup.net. And if your order is under $150, use this host code for July. We've got a few days left yet here in the month. So use WE9TXMXY. And if you need to email me about anything, you can reach me in my email at creatingwithdebbie179@gmail.com. And to go onto my blog for any of the instructions of any of the cards that we're using today, it's www.creatingwithdebbie179.blogspot.com. So if you have any questions, you can also email me or instant message me. Paper Pumpkin has got the August Paper Pumpkin that's coming out, and it's going to be titled Hope Box. And you can sign up for that between July 11th and August 10th is the deadline to sign up. And it's kind of a special box that this coming month in August, because it's going to be a memory box that you can put some of your memories into for keepsakes. And it also has enough supplies to make, I believe it's, yes, 9 cards with matching envelopes. And it comes with a Stampin' Spot, which is an little ink pad. And it comes with a stamp set and dimensionals and glue dots and everything that you might need to create the projects that are included that month. So if you have any questions, be sure you get with me. And those kits are shipped to you monthly. They're $22 a month, I think it is. It'd be plus your sales tax. And we've got a promotion going on right now with our Designer Series paper. It's marked down 15% on certain ones. Here we have 9 different ones. So the original price is $11.50 on most of these, but with the sale price you get it for $9.78, with the exception of the In Good Taste pack, but that's a larger pack of paper, and that's a regular price of $21, and a sale price would be $17.85. I was reading that upside down. And with that too, if you have any questions, be sure you get with me. And we're going to be using one of those papers today that are on sale. So I think I pretty well covered. Oh, and if you want to join my team, you can get your kit for $99, and that includes $125 worth of products that you'd get. It's free shipping. All you'd pay is your sales tax, and you can get a discount on all your supplies that you get after you join. So if you have any questions on that, also, if you want to join my team, you don't have to do necessarily what I do, doing Facebook Lives and all that, but you can just do it as a hobby and get your supplies at a discount. And who doesn't like discounts? Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll get started here. Here's our first Christmas card. It's wishing you a joyful Christmas and Happy New Year. And this is one of our brand new sneak peek stamp sets that's in our new mini catalog, which I can show the cover, but I can't open it to show you. It's our July to December 2021 mini catalog. And along with that, we've also got another celebration that starts August 3rd until September 30th. And both of these start August 3rd. But the mini catalog will run until December, where the celebration only runs until the end of September. So, but I can't show you the insides of them yet. We've still got a few days to wait yet. So, but I'm going to show you a sneak peek on the stamp set and dies that are in there that we're going to use for this first card. And that's called Tidings and Trimmings. And then here's the dies that go along with it that are called Christmas Trimming dies. It's a very versatile set, I think. I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of it. So, and I love the fonts that are in it. It's got some cursive and then just plain block letters. But let's go ahead and get our bits and pieces and all that out here. I've gone ahead and I've stamped and die cut these already because I wanted to save a little time, because I hate running over my hour with y'all trying to get things done, and I don't want to keep you any longer than I have to. I know everybody's got a busy schedules, things that they got to do. So this will maybe cut down on the time a little bit. But we've got our heavy basic weight cardstock, which measures 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and we've scored that in the middle at 4 1/4 inches. And I'm just going to burnish the edge of that to get a good edge on it with our bone folder. And then I've got a cherry cobbler cardstock, which measures 5 3/8 inches by 4 1/8 inches. And I'm just going to set our card base aside for a moment. We're going to assemble the card first. And then here's our Designer Series paper, which is, this is one of the sale Designer Series papers that's right now. So you get the packet for $9.78. And it's a 6x6 packet with 48 sheets of paper. Let me see if we can get this in the camera. My tripod legs are in the way here a little bit, so I don't know if I can move this back a little bit to get a better view. But I've cut one of the designer series paper. We're going to use this like a holly leaves design, and that measures 2.5 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then we've got the beige with the, I guess it's like snowflakes and stars kind of in there. And that's gonna be 1 5/8 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And we're just gonna go ahead and attach those to our cherry cobbler. Let me get my liquid glue here. So what are y'all's plans for staying cool this week, being we're going to be so warm? I'm going to try to stay in the air conditioning as much as I can, I guess. I do have some errands to do tomorrow, so I guess I will be out in it for a little bit. And then we've got a fun scrapbooking retreat going on this weekend, so that's going to be from Thursday until Saturday. So since the COVID situation, we hadn't been able to do that for a couple of years, so I'm really looking forward to it and getting together with some people again that we haven't been able to do for a long time. And then I've got a little strip of the cherry cobbler, which this measures, I think, probably about 1/8 of an inch. No, it's 1/4 of an inch by 5 3/8 inch. Well, it's a little bit longer. We're going to chop that off. So we're going to run a strip of glue just across the center here for our seam. And I'm going to place that as straight as I can. You know, I'm challenged at getting things straight. Yeah, Sharon, you're getting your stuff ready? I've got to start at it, but I've got a whole lot more I got to do yet. So that's how I'm going to spend my week until Thursday, getting everything done. I'm going to do a card class while we're there, so I've got things ready for that, but I've got to decide what else I'm taking with to work on. It may be a good time to get some of my cards done up for my Facebook Lives, so that's probably what I'm going to do. Alright, so we've got that glued down together, so we're going to attach that to the front of our card. Put some liquid glue on the back side of that. And make sure I've got my card going in the right direction. And I want the skinnier part, the snowflakes on the bottom. And it's just going to leave a tiny border going around it. Alright, so this will be what it will look like. And now we've got our little stockings that I've already stamped. And I used cherry cobbler and the evening evergreen to stamp my stockings with. And I did 2 with the evening evergreen and then 1 with the cherry cobbler, which we're going to put the 2 green on the outside and the cherry cobbler one in the middle. But we're going to put those up on dimensionals first. Oops. You can probably hear my air conditioner running in the background, and it's probably going to get a workout this week. Okay, just the opposite here. Okay, so we're going to place those down, and I'm going to get my Take Your Pick tool to pop those dimensional backings off. My fingernails don't work that well to do it, so the pokey tool works the best. And I think I'll put the outside ones down first, and then I can center the middle one in between the two. And I'm trying to keep the same border on each side. And then we'll place the red one in the middle. Alright. And so I'm going to take the sentiment which says, wishing you a joyful Christmas and Happy New Year. And we're going to stamp that on a little scrap of white, basic white. I'm going to use the Evening Evergreen ink to do that with. And I'm going to bring my piercing mat over here to stamp on to give it a little bit of cushion because we're using the photopolymer stamps. And to get a little bit more lighting over here. Alright. Oh, and I moved my punch. I needed my punch back over here. Let me grab my punch that I was using. I put it away. I thought I was forgetting that I was using it on this one. Alright, I'm going to be using the Banner's Pick-a Punch. It's got two different shapes on it. So we're just going to flag the end of that. So let's open this up. And get this centered in there straight. Okay. And we're going to do the same using our Evening Evergreen. How'd I get a big gob of green ink on my hand? Baby wipe here. I don't know, must have bumped against it or something. Right. I like to turn mine over so I can see the back side to make sure I'm getting it straight. And do it again on the other end. Okay, and then we're going to glue those together, and then I'm going to put that up on dimensionals also. Oh, I got carried away with the glue right there. Wipe a little bit of that off there. Okay, set that aside. And I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. And you can probably hear Cookie, she took off running. She's got to go check out the door, see who came in here. Her daddy's off today, so she's got to keep an eye on him. Well, I've got green ink all over me. I don't know where I'm getting it from. Good question. I just want to transfer it to my card here. Alright, and then we've got some gems here, which are the red rhinestone basic jewels. And we're going to put some of those onto our card. And I'm using my Take Your Pick tool again. I'm going to use the putty end of it. And I'm going to slide some of these rhinestones off of there. And I'm just going to put probably a couple up here in the corner and maybe another one. I think on the banner right there at the top corner. And we've got a ribbon, which I've already tied a bow, and that I used, this is our white, Whisper White crinkled seam binding ribbon. And I'm going to take a glue dot, which I put, where did I put down there? Sorry for my reaching here. Take your pick tool to pop one of those off, because I'm going to roll it into a ball to get it small enough to go behind my ribbon. And I'm just going to place that onto the center stocking. Right, there we go. And now we're going to decorate the inside. And I'm going to stamp it using a stamp that I didn't get out yet. So let me grab that. We're going to be using, it's the most wonderful time of the year. And I'm going to use our evergreen ink again, Evening Evergreen. And I'm just going to stamp that. Well, first I want to put our little strip of Designer Series paper. I'm going to put that along the left side here. So let's wait with stamping the sentiment on there first. So I'm just going to put a little glue on this, and we're going to put it to our left side of our inside of our card. It's always nice to decorate the inside of our cards also. And we're going to turn that over and just snip that off. I'm going to get an old scissors here, so I don't want to get glue all over my paper snips. I just cleaned them off, so trying to keep them clean a little bit. It's okay. So we just put that little strip on the inside. And I think that's probably like a 1/2 inch strip. Well, it's 5/8 inches by 4 1/8 inches. So now let's come back in there with our ink and our stamp. And we're going to stamp that in the upper portion of our card. Set that ink pad aside so I don't get my fingers in it again. Okay, so here's our first card. Wishing you a joyful Christmas and Happy New Year. And it's the most wonderful time of the year. Hi, Deborah. Now you're on time. Hi, Jackie. Glad y'all could come. I'm trying to cool everybody off, making Christmas in July, so maybe it'll work. And we're going to be as scorchers this week with the heat index in the hundreds. So we want to make sure we stay cool and hydrated. Okay, so we've got card number 1 done. And let me see which one I want to do next. And I forgot to tell you that was on page 89 in our new annual catalog. So let me show you that. Page 89. Okay, so here it is. It's right here. But you can get the whole suite for $58, which is well, you'd get the bundle, plus you get the paper, this ribbon. So if you have any questions or anything, just be sure, don't hesitate to ask me. And then, let me go ahead and do the snowman one. We have another stamp set that's returned. It's the snowman season. And I didn't see what page number that was. Let me look that up real quick. It's kind of nice to follow along in the book so you can find the stamps sets that I'm using. So it's on page 93. And I'm all butterfingers today. I can't turn pages. Okay. Yeah, it's right here. This one here, and it's a returning one from last year, which was one of my favorites last year. I like snowmen. But here's the stamp set. And here's the card that we're going to be making. It says Merry Christmas. And the inside says, hoping this season builds heartwarming memories. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started with that. And the paper that I'm using is the Neutrals 6x6. And we're using the Night of Navy color. Get my instructions out here. All my bits and pieces. So the card base is the Night of Navy cardstock, and that's just our standard card size. It's the 5.5 by 8.5, and then it's scored in the middle at 4 1/4 inches. So we're going to burnish that edge, and I'm going to set the card base aside for a moment because we're going to work on the card front. And I have a sheet of the basic white cardstock, which measures 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches, and I've already embossed that using the checks and dots embossing folders. These are our minis. You get 2 in the folder. You've got the checks and then the dots. We're using the dots. I think it kind of looks like the snow. And so I've already embossed those. I didn't do the whole sheet because it's a smaller embossing folder, so I just did each side because the center's not going to show when we're done anyway. We're going to be covering that. So then I've got a sheet of that Designer Series paper that measures 3 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And a piece of the basic white that measures 2 1/4 inches by 3 1/2 inches. And we're going to stamp our snowman on there. So we're going to go ahead and get started with that. I'm going to bring my mat back in here again because we're using the photopolymer again. And I'm using the Night of Navy ink pad. I'm going to close up this other ink pad over here, which I'm bound to determine to stick my hand and fingers into. Alright, so we're going to set that aside, Bring in our little piece of white. And we got our little snowman. Oops. Had a smudge on that side. So we're going to stamp him kind of towards the top of our little piece of cardstock. I'm going to leave a little space at the bottom. And then we're going to bring in our Merry Christmas stamp, and we're going to stamp that on a scrap of white. using the Night of Navy also. And all right. So I'm going to close our ink pad up for a moment. Make sure I don't have nothing on my fingers. And we're going to do some coloring with him. We're going to bring in our blends. I'm going to be using the Night of Navy blends, the dark pumpkin pie for his nose, the light evening evergreen for the tree, and the light seaside spray for the snow, for the snowflakes. But we're going to start out coloring with the dark Night of Navy. What we're going to do is scarf and his hat. We're going to do the lines in his scarf and hat with the dark. All right. Oops. Missed one right there. And I'm using the bullet end because it's a smaller area. That way I can get in there and do it better than using the other end where it's thicker. So I'm going to come in with the light Night of Navy, and I'm going to fill in the rest of his hat and scarf. Okay. I think I'm gonna come in with the green to do the tree. And I just kind of smeared it around. I didn't even follow the lines. I just kind of shaded it in. And then I'm going to put a little bit of the green on the rocks and underneath them a little bit. You may be standing on a little bit of grass. And then come back in to do his nose with the dark pumpkin pie. And then I use the Seaside Spray, the light, to shade the snow a little bit and to do the snowballs that he's throwing up in the air. So I'm just going to touch the centers of those snowballs just to put a little color in there. Alright, and that's all I do with the blends. I'll set those over there out of my way. Alright, so we can start assembling here. Let's see. We're going to glue him down on top of there, but we're going to use dimensionals to fasten him down. And take a pick tool. Well, it won't be long and it will be Christmas time, so I guess we do need to get a head start on our cards. Okay, so we're going to take those off. I have a habit of waiting until the last minute on it all. I guess I'm a procrastinator. Alright, we're going to center that on top of our Designer Series paper. And then I took that same ribbon, the Whisper White crinkled seam binding ribbon, and you can color these with your blends any color that you want to go along with your project. So I've taken my dark Night of Navy lens, and I colored that ahead of time because it does take a little bit for it to dry. So I wanted to do it ahead of time so I didn't have wet ribbon here. We're going to tie that around, and then we're going to tie it in a bow. And it's always harder to tie a bow when I'm on camera, so let's see how well I do this today. And let's see if my fingers worked or not. No, nope, that didn't work. What I'm going to do is take a glue dot and tie that, and then I'm going to hold it down with the glue dot so I can work with it better. If I can get the glue dots off. They changed the orientation of the glue dots on our roll, so it's backwards to me. I'm hoping they'll change it back to the old way again, because it's kind of awkward to handle this way. Okay, so now I got it in place. Pick up that ribbon again, and I'm going to tie it in a knot so it doesn't come undone for me, and then tie a bow. Okay, let's see if this works better. Bring it around, grab that in the middle. And I want to make those a little bit smaller. Yeah. All right, that looks good. And I'll move my pad away, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this onto our embossed paper using our liquid glue. And that was a little bit crooked there. I need to move it up a little bit. And we're going to center that onto our embossed cardstock. All right, there we go. And then we're going to glue that to the front of our card. Did everybody have a good weekend? And we're just going to leave a tiny, tiny border going around. And down there straight. And I'm going to slide over. Alright. And with our other one that we stamped the Merry Christmas, we're going to cut this down and we're going to piece it onto our card. I'm just going to fussy cut this off. And I'm going to put that a little bit closer too, and then we're going to chop those apart. So we're going to put the Merry up here and the Christmas down here. I think I'm going to do it over this way. I could trim this down a little bit more, I think. Alright, it's going to go just like so. And place it in the upper left corner, and then Christmas in the bottom right corner. I've got a new bottle of glue here, so I'm trying not to squeeze too hard because I get a gusher coming out. Alright, so here we have that. And then we're going to add a little bit of bling. So I've got the Elegant Faceted Gems, and we're going to be using the whiter ones. And I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool, and we're going to pop off some small ones. And I'm going to put one right there, another one right there, and I think I'll put the other one maybe down here. So there we have the outside. And I think I'm going to take some Wink of Stellar, and we're going to bling up his nose a little bit, give it a little shine there. And then the inside of our card, I've got a piece of the basic white cardstock, and that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And we're going to get our stamps out. We're going to use a snowflake, and then we're going to use the sentiment on the inside, which is hoping this season builds heartwarming memories. And we're going to be using the Night of Navy. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment first. And let me bring my pad back over here. And we're going to stamp that in the upper center. And then we're going to take our snowflakes, and we're going to stamp off on those. So we're going to do second generation, and we're going to put one on each corner. I'm glad that didn't land upside down. I would have had a mess. And one right there. Alright. And now we're going to glue that to the inside of our card. Alright. Just a tiny bit. There we go. Okay, so here we have the outside of our card, and here's the inside. Alright. Let me set those aside, and we'll go on to our next card. I'm just trying to move some of my things out of my way here. We're going to be using the Tidings of Christmas paper again. And this little guy is one of the free stamp sets that you can earn with your $50 purchase. That's in the celebration. Hey, I think he's really cute. There's also a punch that goes along with it, so very cute set. It says Merry Christmas, be cool, be chill, be merry. So let's go ahead and we'll start with him. Get my bits and pieces out here. My instructions. Okay, our card base is just our heavy basic white, and it measures 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, and then it's scored at 5 1/2 inches. And I think I'm going to turn this the other way because I've got a stain on that side, so we're going to turn that over so it doesn't show. And we're going to burnish the edge of that. And then we've got a sheet of cardstock, which is the Evening Evergreen, and that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And using that same Designer Series paper that's on sale for $9.78,
don't forget, until August 3rd is the last day that you can order that on sale. Otherwise it goes back to the original price again. So the Designer Series paper we're using is this one, and then this is the back side of it. So the top portion measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches, and then the lower portion measures I didn't put that 5 inches by 2 inches. 2 inches or 2.5? 2 inches. So we're just gonna attach those down to our card base. I mean down to our cardstock. And make sure your trees are going in the right direction. And our bottom piece. And then we've got another strip of the Evening Evergreen, which measures 1/2 inch by 3 3/4 inches. But I left mine longer. I'm going to trim it off after I glue it down. So I'm going to put some glue along that seam. And attach that down. And then we'll come back in and turn it over and clip it off. Snip it off. And a tiny bit on this side. Get all my scraps out of the way here. The trash. Okay. And then we've got a little bit of ribbon, which is the Open Weave Evening Evergreen. And I'm just going to take a strip of that and I'm going to put that across my little strip of paper there. And I'm going to use my seal, which I didn't get out yet. Let me grab that. Yeah, it's our Stampin' Seal. I'm going to use that to hold my ribbon down. So I'm going to turn that over and I'm going to just run a strip on each side to attach my ribbon to it on the back side of it. And let me place this down here so I see, make sure I've got it in the right spots. And just put that back behind it. My finger is stuck to it there. And the same over on this side. Alright. And now we can go ahead and attach that to our card base. And I'm just gluing it with our glue. And we're going to center that with a little border going around it. Press it down to make sure it sticks good. Okay, so we're going to set that aside for a moment. And we've got another piece of our Evening Evergreen, which measures 3 1/8 inches by 3 1/8 inches. And then a piece of our basic white that is 3 inches by 3 inches. And we're going to stamp our little guy on there. We're using our black Memento ink. And we're just going to stamp him, and then we're going to start assembling him. But first I'm going to stamp my sentiment, I think, at the top. We're going to be using that Merry Christmas again. But let me clean the ink off of there. This is our Simply Chamois. I love that for cleaning my stamps off. If you don't have one, they work very good for cleaning off your stamps. You can get it in my store. So just, you can just type in the word Simply Chamois and it should bring it up. Okay, am I pushing again? Choose right here. And we're just going to stamp Merry Christmas at the top of that 3x3 using the black Memento ink. And then we're going to stamp our little penguin. I want to make sure that I get them good and inked up really good. I just re-inked my stamp pads yesterday, so I'm hoping that it does good. Alright, I'm going to stamp him in the center. And I'm going to let it sit there for a moment. Maybe it'll soak in that ink a little bit better. Because I want it to be fairly good and black. I can do with that. That's good. Let's put the cover on that ink pad before we have an accident here. And then we're going to do his little beak and his feet using the pumpkin pie ink. Let me do his feet first here. They're so cute. I don't know if you can see it on camera. They're so tiny. Okay, then we're going to stamp his little feet. That one could have been darker. I don't know if I can come back in there and match it up. Yeah, I guess that's good. And then his little beak. I don't think you can see that on camera. Turn him around here so I get his face straight. And we're going to stamp his little beak. He's so cute. I love him. Isn't he adorable? Okay, and then he's got a little bitty bow tie because it's a little boy. So, let me put that on there and see if I can't get the beak off of there without getting ink all on my fingers. And we're going to use the Poppy Parade ink to do his bow tie. And ink that up. And we'll put a little bow tie on his neck there. There. Let me close this up. Isn't he cute? I just love him. He's so cute. And we'll put some glue on this and we'll attach it to our evergreen mat. We're just going to keep a tiny border going around it. And we're going to put that up on dimensionals also. And I'm going to put one in each corner and then one in the middle to help support it. And I'm going to take your pick tool to pop those off. And we're going to place that in the center. And I need to move them over just a tiny bit. Maybe right there. And then I've tied a bow ahead of time using that same ribbon. And we're going to place that at his bottom of his feet here. Let me grab one of these glue dots. These backward glue dots. And place that bow right underneath him. And I think I'm going to shorten this ribbon on this side, the tail. Okay. And we're going to add some gems to him, which are called the 2020 to 2022 in color square gems. And I'm going to use the, I think it's a Just Jade. It's the color. I'm going to use the smaller ones, squares. And I'm just going to place some randomly on here. And maybe another one right there. I think he might be a little bit crooked. There. Okay, so here's our card front. Merry Christmas. And then we're going to do our inside of our card. We're going to use a strip of that same Designer Series paper. And this measures, I believe it's 1 inch by 5.5 inches. And it's a little bit longer. I'm going to have to cut off some. So we're going to go ahead and glue that down to the inside of our card. I'd rather have it too long than not long enough, so I usually just leave it longer and then go back in and trim it off. But we're going to place that on our left side of our card, front card inside. And I'm going to turn it around and trim that off. Okay, and now we're going to use the sentiment, be cool, be chill, and be merry. And I'm just going to use the black Memento ink to stamp that with. And I better bring my piercing mat over here to give it some cushion. And I'm just making sure I got that inked up good. And we're going to stamp that in the upper center. Put the lid back on that. I think we're doing good on time today. I think I kept it at an hour. Okay, so there's our little guy. Isn't he so cute? And the inside. Okay, so that's the cards that we have for you today. Let me bring them all out here and see if I can fit them all on here or not. Maybe. I'm just going to wait to see if my iPad catches up here to see what the view of all of them looks like. I need to readjust. I think that looks pretty good. Love the snowman, Deborah? Yeah, I do too. He's always been my favorite. I'm glad they brought him back. Okay, so I'll be back next Monday. It will be, let me get my calendar here. It'll be August already, August 2nd. So I hope everybody will be able to join me back again next Monday, August 2nd at 11 a.m. Central Time. And I'm not sure what I'll be making, but it'll be something good. And if you have any suggestions of anything that you want me to work with, I'd be happy to look into it, and if I have the stamp set and the supplies, I'd be gladly to do it. So I'm always open to suggestions. But I'm going to let everybody go for today. Y'all have a good week. Stay healthy, stay safe.
stay cool if you're in Arkansas or anywhere here in the South this week. It's going to be a scorcher out there. And I'm hoping to come back with lots of good ideas after my retreat this Thursday and through Saturday. So I wish I could take you all with me. So y'all have a good week. I'll be talking to you soon, and I'll see you again next Monday morning, 11 o'clock, same channel. Bye.